It's kind of funny. They say we know more about life in space than we know about life in the bottom of the ocean. But, Master of Words, what do you think about Atlantis?
Atlantis, man, I think it's real, man. I think it existed at some point.
And where do you think it might have been located?
It's a good question, because there's a lot of theories. The most popular one that we have, as far as the latest info, por decirlo así, was from Plato. The day I found Atlantis. Light years away from home, yet I can still smell the scent of Mayflowers blooming on a Baystate hill in the spectacle of an autumn dusk. I want to be an archeologist. Those were the first words I said to my mother after reading my first book collection on ancient civilizations. I was 9 years old. My mother, who always let me choose my own paths, asked me, "And why do you want to be an archeologist?" I looked at her dead in the eye with all the seriousness a child of 9 could convey and replied, "Because I want to be the first to find Atlantis." A glowing smile appeared across my mother's face because she knew I really meant what I said. That was my first step in my mythological journey, and I haven't looked back since. And although the archaeology idea seemed great, I never did anything with it. However, even though I am not an archaeologist, I have made several significant discoveries throughout my lifetime. Unfortunately, finding Atlantis wasn't one of them. But I discovered that I enjoy writing, that I love the Red Sox, that I love eating, sleeping, and laughing. However, the most important discovery was missing. Like every human in history, I was baffled by my existence. Why am I here? Where do I come from? But most importantly, who am I? I desperately tried to figure it out, but the more I tried, the more confused I became. I knew I enjoyed writing, but I'm not a writer. I love the Red Sox, but I'm not a professional athlete. I love to sleep, but I'm not dead. Then I realized that to find my identity, I would have to look outside of titles and labels. I knew that if I were anything, it would have to be something natural and pure. I searched and searched until I found refuge in poetry. But the thing is, I'm not a poet. Sometimes I felt like giving up, throwing in the towel. There were times when I just simply didn't care. Then one day, I was shaving and happened to see a ladybug on my mirror. I was bewildered at the oddity of the situation. And suddenly, like a ton of bricks, I got hit with one of those life-altering realizations, the ones that crystallize before you like snowflakes on a front windshield. And in split seconds, everything gets put in place as if your life was one of those 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzles you tried to put together as a kid, but you couldn't because it was too confusing, but now you can because your revelation was the final piece to your own puzzle. So as I gazed deeper at this unusual ladybug, I started to fade into some internal abyss. I heard my childhood laughter and voice fragments of those that have strolled past my life's front porch. And in the middle of the conglomeration of voices, a particular one resonated the clearest. It was my own, with a different tone, a different rhythm, with a touch of happiness unfelt in me before. When I awoke from my trance, I saw myself reading the same books I mentioned earlier. I was 9 years old. I never became an archaeologist, but my mom's still proud of me. And even though I never found Atlantis, it really doesn't matter anymore because I found something better. Who am I? I and with simple autumn whisper, dashing gently across a mesmerizing Massachusetts Indian summer night.
Called Hermes Trimegistro
Yeah.
from Egypt.
Yeah, supposedly, that's actually interesting that you say that, because that same guy, Hermes, in Egypt, he's known as Thoth the Atlantean. And supposedly, there's a particular myth that says that Egypt was founded by Thoth and some other Atlanteans.